Hi everyone, my name's Tessa. I'm the inclusion specialist with the City of San Jose. Today we're here and we're gonna be making chicken tenders in the air fryer. So let's get started. So first I'm gonna show you everything that we're gonna need today to make the chicken tenders. First, we have panko breadcrumbs. So you can use a regular breadcrumb. I'm gonna be using an Italian seasoning blend. We wanna make sure that we have some kind of flavor with the breadcrumbs. So if you have Italian seasoning at your house, feel free to add that to your breadcrumbs. But today I have one that has seasoning already in it. So that's what I'm gonna be using. Then we're gonna need 2 eggs. We're gonna crack these bad boys in here, stir them up, and then that's gonna help with what's gonna mix with the breadcrumbs on the chicken. Next, we have salt and pepper. This is to give a little bit of flavor to the chicken. We're just gonna use a little bit because we will get a good amount of seasoning from the breadcrumbs. And then last but not least, we have our chicken. So if you're buying chicken breasts from the store, you're gonna want to definitely cut them in half or even maybe in fourths because we want them to be nice and thin so that we can get the chicken to cook all the way through in the air fryer. All right, so let's get started. I'm gonna start off with cracking my eggs. Whoop. Got a little bit on the table, that's okay. Most of it got in the bowl. All right, let's see there. And then we're gonna need 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs. So I'm gonna do this right here. Pour it over the bowl so I try not to make a mess because I am a little bit messy sometimes. All right, there we go. We got our 1 cup. So now I'm gonna give my eggs a little whisk. We wanna make sure these are nice and blended. Okay, I think that looks good. All right, so before we start dipping, let's put some salt and pepper on our chicken. So I'm gonna just lay these out. And so yes, we are gonna be touching raw chicken today, so we wanna make sure our hands are nice and clean. I washed my hands with soap and water for 20 seconds before I started here. And then, you know, after we're done with all of this, we wanna make sure we wash our hands really nice and thorough again because we're gonna be touching the raw meat, we're gonna be touching eggs, we're gonna be touching breadcrumbs, our fingers are gonna be yucky, okay? So let's start with some salt and pepper. Just lightly all the way through. All right, good. We're definitely gonna wanna wash these salt and peppers after also because our yucky hands are touching them. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, you'll see there's just a little salt and pepper just to give it a little bit of flavor. So now, after we have the salt and pepper on our chicken, we're gonna go in with the egg. So the egg is like a base that's gonna keep the breadcrumbs on the chicken. I'm gonna grab my first piece right here. I'm just gonna dip it in, flip it around. I wanna make sure it gets all the way coated through. All right, then I'm gonna bring it over here to my breadcrumbs. Just mix it around. All right, look at that. That is number 1. I have my little plate right here that I'm just gonna add my done pieces to. There we go. So yeah, we're just gonna keep doing this all the way through until all of our chicken is nice and breaded. So let's see, there we go. And sometimes depending on how much chicken you're using, I'm using about 1 pound here. You might need a little bit more breadcrumbs, you might need another egg, but I find for 1 pound of chicken, 2 eggs and a cup of breadcrumbs works perfect. Some of these are a little bit bigger than the other ones, but that's okay. They're all about the same amount of thickness, so they're gonna cook all the way through thoroughly just fine. It's looking like I might need a little bit more breadcrumbs. So after this piece of chicken, I'm gonna wash my hands really quick. So I have nice clean hands when I'm touching my breadcrumbs. And add some more breadcrumbs to my bowl.
Moments later.
All right, let's get back to it. Got 4 more pieces to do. So a lot of the times when you're making chicken tenders, the recipe does call for flour, and flour also works as a base to help keep the breadcrumbs on the chicken. So sometimes when I make chicken tenders, I do use flour, but for this recipe, I wanted to try and make it as simple as possible and as few ingredients as possible. So that's why I went with just the eggs and the breadcrumbs. And it does work. You'll see they still taste just as delicious. So let me know how you like them with flour versus without flour. Then maybe one day I can make a chicken tender video with flour and we can kind of compare and contrast which ones look better, which ones taste better. Because sometimes things will look pretty, but maybe they don't taste as pretty. And sometimes they don't look so pretty, but they taste really pretty. So it just depends, really. Okay. So obviously my hands are very gross, yucky, so I need to wash them again. So I'll be back, and then we're gonna move on to the next step, which is putting them in the air fryer.
Moments later.
Okay, we're back and we're ready to get going. Okay, so this is the air fryer that we're using today. If you don't have an air fryer, totally okay. You can put these in the oven. So I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do for the air fryer version. If you don't have an air fryer, I'll show you what you can do for the oven too. Okay, so we're gonna open this up. We're gonna spray it with our nonstick spray. Shake it a little bit. All right. And then I'm gonna grab some tongs and I'm just gonna start putting my chicken in the air fryer. So it looks like for this air fryer, we'll probably be able to do 4 pieces. You don't wanna overpack it because then it won't cook all the way through. So yeah, we'll do 4 pieces. Okay, I'm gonna move this pan out of the way. Let's put it back in here. So we're gonna have it at the highest setting. So this air fryer goes up to 390 degrees, and we're gonna put it in there for 5 minutes. After the first 5 minutes, we're gonna open it up and we're gonna flip them over, and then they're gonna cook for another 5 minutes. Here we go. All right, so if you don't have an air fryer, like I said, totally okay. What you can do is you can put them in a baking sheet or like a Pyrex dish, and you can cook them at 450 degrees for about 10 minutes. No need to flip them halfway through like we do in the air fryer. The oven will cook it all the way through from the heat that comes out at each angle in the oven. So yeah, 450 degrees for about 10 minutes. So we're gonna let these cook in the air fryer for 5 minutes and then we're gonna flip them.
5 minutes later.
All right, so our timer just went off. It's been 5 minutes. So I'm gonna give these guys a little flip. I'm gonna spray them again with the nonstick spray. So they get it on top also, because that's about to be on the bottom part. So let's flip these over. Some of these breadcrumbs are falling off. All right, let's give these ones another 5 minutes, and then we'll check them out when they're done.
A few minutes later.
All right, everyone, so our timer just went off again. So let's check these out, see how they're looking. Ooh, can you see that steam? All right, these look like they're done, so let's take them out. Oops. Put them on the plate. All right, there we go.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, everyone, here is our finished product. I'm gonna take a bite and see how it tastes. Typically, I like to dip my chicken tenders in a sauce, barbecue, ranch, something like that, but these are gonna be so good, I'm not even gonna need a sauce. Yep, look at that. Look how good that is. Yep. So if you decided to make these, comment, let us know how they turn out. If you have any other recommendations for some things you'd like to see, some things you'd like for us to try and make. These are so good. All right, thank you everyone. Miss you, love you, bye.